Hi, Snehal.
Hello,
Snehal.
sir.
Hi, Snehal. Snehal, this is Lavish. Uh, I'm wondering where rest of the folks are. We are supposed to start at 9, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure. I was also waiting for other people to join. Is just me online, and there is no one offline as well?
That is what it looks like. I mean, everybody is supposed to join online here. I'm actually taking it since it's an introductory lecture mostly, so I'm taking it online only today. Next week onwards, I will be in the class. I was informed that there are only two, three students today, so I thought I'll take it online, and then we can take it from class from next week. But right now, there is nobody else except you.
Okay. And weekend classes are Saturday, Sunday, or just Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday, yeah. Saturday,
Okay, all
Sunday,
right.
9 to 1 will be our timing. And I mean, did you have any other lectures before this, or is this your first lecture with the Marticus?
I have. I mean, I'm attending Irfan sir's lectures because basically I was interested in weekend lectures.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I missed four sessions of that of weekdays, so I'm doing. Basically, I missed basics of SQL, so I'm doing that in
Acha, acha,
weekend
acha,
to.
acha, acha.
Yeah,
Okay, got it, got it. So you're from some other batch, right? Is what you're saying.
yeah. I mean, my. It's quite a long story. My the sales rep or whatever, he did not really inform me on time, and my
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
admission did was done like very quickly.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
by that time I missed four lectures, so
Okay,
now I'm
okay.
just trying to catch up with that flow.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So you'll be staying in this batch
yeah,
itself,
so
right?
my preference is weekend batch.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll be staying in weekend
Yeah,
batch.
yeah. This is gonna be a purely weekend batch only, Snehal. 9 to 1 on Saturday and Sundays.
Yeah, and especially um, I joined weekend class because Pranjal sir is also involved in this thing. So he was recommended by one of my friends that
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
he's also good. That's why I joined this class.
Okay. All right. Yeah, yeah. No issues. But I'm really wondering. I think this schedule was shared a bit late yesterday, right around 4, 5 o'clock. So I'm not sure whether people join. At least some folks should have joined by now. No, it's already 9:15.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm trying to contact Utkarsha as well. Just give me a few minutes. If we are conducting the
Yeah.
lecture, people should be here. Otherwise, we'll start from next weekend onwards.
All right. No problem. Okay.
Yep. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Hi guys, good morning. Can you all hear me, guys? I need a confirmation from you all.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ankita. Yash, Abhay, Mrinal, can you all
Yes,
hear?
good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
guys.
sir. Good morning.
All right. So, uh, we were supposed to have today's session in class, guys, but again, I had some work in the morning. I would have been really late. So I thought we'll do today's session since it's an introductory session and we'll be talking, we'll get to know each other and we'll talk a little bit about SQL, right? We'll definitely do some SQL as well. But before that, I want to know, do you all have the SQL software that is required installed with you, or is it something that you all have to install right now?
I think we will have to install it. We don't,
Oh,
at least
okay,
I
okay,
don't have
okay.
it yet.
Right, right. So, what I'll do, guys, is can you share your email IDs here in the chat? I will send you a email. This will contain the details of where you can download the software from and some instructions that you'll need to follow to download the software. Okay, so just share this with me, and meanwhile we can get started with the introduction. So I'll share my screen and I'll tell you I have a unique way of doing introduction. That's precisely because of the fact of the information that I'll be using from this introduction. All right. So let me share my screen quickly, and we'll get started. Okay. So we'll start with name, then your highest qualification. Okay, your work experience, if any. Then we'll talk about your age. So there's a reason I'm asking for age because it's something that I will use to communicate a lot about statistics. Although, I mean, we have very less students in the class, but I think it will help you understand stats and numbers in a very relevant way. Okay. Then we have why data science and then why Marticus. Yeah, I'll just add another column here, which would essentially be if you have a work experience, what is the company you're working for? Okay, so I'll start with my introduction first. So my name is Lavish Bhatt, and I am currently a principal data scientist with Merkle here in Pune, and I have close to not close to it's actually above more than 10 years of experience into the space of data analytics, machine learning, data science, deep learning. So these are the areas that I have been focused on for the past 10 years. I started off my career back in 2009 as a statistical analyst, post which I did my MBA in Mumbai from KJ Somaya. And then I have been in profiles which have been very closely related to quantitative disciplines, right? And it's basically something that is the bread and butter for me. And my forte currently right now is Python. I do a lot of work in Python. My organization, we also do a lot of work in R. SQL is something that that is something that every data scientist will have to learn. It's something that will help you get to the data that will let you perform machine learning, right? So SQL is a very important part for that. Okay. Then we have okay, my highest highest qualification, as I mentioned, is MBA. My work experience, like I mentioned, is 10. Current company is Merkle.
My age is 34. Uh, Data science, basically, I mean, the reason I went into data science partly was because of, I would say, the company that I started off after 2009, which was a clinical research organization. So this clinical research organization was into any clinical research organization. What they do is before launching a drug, they test it out, right, to see what are the potential side effects, what are the potential, positive benefits of a drug, and it needs to be statistically understood, right? So you do a lot of tests there. That's how I started it. And post my MBA, even during my MBA, I had a very good knack towards subjects which involved lots of math, which involved lots of research and analytics. And post my MBA, I did some certifications which helped me get a job in data science. So that's how my journey started. The reason I picked up data science is because, as you all know, right, data is the new oil. It's something that everybody needs to know. You need to be data literate in today's world. Otherwise, it's very difficult to survive in the industry, right? And that data literacy will only come once you understand data, once you understand how to play with data, once you understand how to solve a problem and create a problem statement around what your stakeholders give you or the people who you're working with. I also joined data science because I always loved numbers. I always had a good knack for maths. Programming was something I was not really fond of, but that is something that I picked up, when I did certifications, and it's not very difficult, right? If you put in the right amount of time and the effort, I can guarantee you programming will not be a huge problem for you. It's something that you can pick up in less than a month if you are committed, right? If you're putting hours in the classroom, if you're putting hours, by going back home and practicing enough, I can tell you there have been people who have been chemical engineers or mechanical engineers, or even people from a non-engineering background who have picked up programming really well, and they've even got placed. A lot of my students also got an opportunity to work with me, right? I've been teaching with Ematicus for close to 4 years now, and there are numerous opportunities, guys. There'll be not, what I can assure you is that there'll be no dearth of opportunities, and the only thing that will be needed for your side is your time and commitment, and of course hard work. There is no substitute to that. So once you basically go through that, then once you're in an organization, you get on the job trainings, and that's how your career starts. Post that, you can decide whether you want to stick with the same company or you want to change to another company. I mean, then it's basically professional decisions based on how you're working. But again, these first few months of your course are very critical, and you need to put in a lot of time to make sure that you're understanding and you're practicing enough so that you don't forget everything by the end of the course. Okay, so like I said, why data science is because I loved maths, and it had a future scope, right? Because I mean, I used to read a lot, so I had this habit of reading a lot, and I figured that data science is the upcoming field and I should upskill for it and do some courses and stuff. So I was essentially at the same point where you are right now, about 10 years back. And that's what has basically resulted in me being what I am right now. Now, for me, why Ematicus? I feel Ematicus has a very broad course curriculum. They cover all aspects of machine learning, data science, deep learning, data engineering, big data, cloud computing, and I don't see any other institute having that wide a coverage, right? Then another reason I feel Ematicus is a good institute is because they will provide you with a lot of assignments, a lot of coursework to do, which is essential for success for any professional course. And then I think they have a good infrastructure, frankly speaking. If some of the students, I believe, are in class, and you have a good classroom, which are basically AC classrooms and stuff. And you can even spend time. Let's say if you are not able to get time at home, you can come and sit in the classroom and practice. You can sit in the institute throughout the day and make sure that you're putting your hours in practice. So these are some of the reasons, right? Like I said, they have, again, the last but not the least is placement record. I think that also speaks for itself. So I will put down a few points here. All right, now let's start with the rest of the folks. I would encourage whoever is going next to come on video so that I get to see you as well. Anyways, I'll get to see you, some of you folks in the class itself, but for the people who are completely in the online mode, it'll be great if I can see you. So we can start with, I can see Snehal's name is first. So we'll start with Snehal. Snehal, let's start with you and talk about your highest qualification, talk about your work experience, if any, talk about the company you were working with, what role you had there, your age, why you chose data science, and why Marticus is a preferred destination for you.
Hi everybody, my name is Snehal. Um, I have completed my bachelor's in computer science in 2019. So I passed out in
This is engineering,
2019.
bachelor's in engineering, Snehal, right?
Bachelor's in computer science.
So you're saying BSc computer science?
Yeah.
Okay.
BSc computer science. And but I never worked in that background. Right now, I am a sales rep in a window company. I'm basically in Canada right now, so I work for a window company. That's a window manufacturing company, not something related with anything related with computer. So
okay, can you
yeah,
tell me the name of the company?
it's Oasis Windows.
Okay. And
Yeah,
you're a
and
sales rep with
my
them.
age is 25. And
What is the number of
honestly
work
speaking,
experience, Nehal, you have?
sorry,
What is the number of years of work experience?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Why data science?
and yeah, so I have so basically I never as I said, I never worked in a background related to computer science. So I wanted to do something related to that field. And when I looked into market, data science is like current like boosting subject. That's why I wanted to choose data science. So basically that's my that is my reason why I chose data science. And then why Emarticus? Because one of my friends have uh, completed this course from Emarticus, and then he recommended me to go for this institute. So yeah, so that's why I joined Emarticus.
All right. Good to have you here, Snehal. By the way, it would be quite late there right now, right? I mean, what's
Yeah,
the
it's
time there?
9:30 p.m. here.
You are on
So
East Coast or on the West Coast?
I am on Vancouver side,
Acha,
west.
Vancouver. You're on the West Coast. Okay, okay. So basically,
Yeah,
yeah, it's about 12 and a half hours ka difference. Okay,
that's
all
correct.
right. I hope the timing works with you because for you it will
Yeah,
extend
that's
into
what
one
I was.
1:30 in the night.
I was quite indecisive about the if I should continue with weekdays class or weekends class, because I'm just trying to adjust myself into the my daily work life, because I work full time and then I come at work at 6 p.m. and then I have to do everything and I have to sit for the class at 8:30. So it becomes quite hard for me. But yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like that for some time, Snehal. And I mean, you're in a difficult position. I understand, with the timing gap, and with everything that is, that you're working on currently. But just make sure, Snehal, you're able to find some time to practice on, whatever we gave here in the class. Because just sitting in the class and practicing will really not suffice, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a subject that people do PhD in generally, right? I mean, it takes years and years to master this subject, which you are trying to cover in 6 to 8 months, right? So make sure that you're putting in your time, which I know will be difficult for you to do. But again, to be successful, you'll have to push, a bit extra. And I'm here for all the support, so that any issues that you're facing, we can deal with it here. Okay.
Yes. So I have a question. I wanted your opinion. I mean, teacher's opinion on it.
Mhm.
So basically, what was in my mind is that if I attend weekend classes, then I
Mhm.
I have 4 days, 4 to 5 days to practice or to study,
Correct.
and then if I do weekdays classes, then the course gets completed obviously earlier. So what
All right.
do you prefer for me to choose?
See, I mean, if you're doing weekday classes, then again, the timings will be more or less in the same slot, or they will be a bit late, right? I mean, they will not start early, which will be more suited for you. And I think, because of the timing, because of, how the time difference is, it will make sense for you to do it on weekends only, right? Because 1:30 you'll extend in the night. That Doing that on weekdays is a much difficult thing. And again, it all relates to how your schedule is. What time do you have to report in office the next day and everything? And will you be left with any energy? Will you get enough sleep during weekdays? It will become cumbersome. I mean, if you do it on weekdays, right? Because of your office and because of your work. Uh, so my recommendation would be to basically, utilize time on weekends to learn stuff and spend, let's say, roughly about 1 to 2 hours each day every week, so that you
Mhm,
can cover up whatever has been done, right? Essentially, see, I mean, if you're doing 8 hours training on the weekend, and
mhm,
on weekdays you're able to spend close to the same amount of hours, let's say about 8 to 10 hours on weekdays, to
mhm.
practice, to learn, to revise. I think that will be easier for you to execute, rather than taking weekday classes. Because, see, I mean, if you take weekday classes, then you'll have to revise everything also, right? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
make sure that you're catching up with whatever is being taught. So it's a good idea. My recommendation would definitely be to stick with the weekend classes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
then,
thank you.
yep. Anything else, Nehal, that you want to talk to us about?
No, sir. That was my major concern. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Welcome on board, Snehal. Good to have you. Then next I have on my screen is Abhay Chogule.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Abhay.
Yes, my highest qualification is B Electronics and Telecommunication.
Mhm. Okay.
I have the work experience, 7 years work experience.
Mhm.
And company name is Biorad Medicines Private Limited.
Can you
Biorad, BIORAD.
BIORED?
RAD.
RAD?
Medicines Private Limited.
That is this.
Yes. Uh, age 32.
Okay.
Uh, Currently, there is one project in our company. There is patients' names and actually manufacturing orthopedic implants.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, there is a one project regarding the patient's name and data analysis project. One of my friend is doing this project, and that's why I'm interested in that data scientist.
Okay. So
Yes.
basically, you're saying I mean, you have some kind of work in your organization as well, which is
Yes.
related to data and.
I'm working as a PLC programmer. That is automation related.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay, let me just send this email to everyone first, and I'll note down your details. Why I can't see? Okay. Taking down your email IDs and sending you this information. I have 4 email IDs here. Snehal Y. Okay, Ankita just sent it. Granal. Okay, I think we have everyone, right? There are a few more students. Kamlesh. Okay, Kamlesh is also there. Kamlesh, can you send your email ID to me? Or rest everyone is sent.
Yeah, just send it in chat box.
Yes. I've sent you the installation instruction, guys. एक काम करो, first just download this installer file. Okay, ये जो पहली file that I'm sharing on the screen. Download this file. It will take a bit of time to download. I think it's few MBs. If your internet connection is good, it should not take too much of a time. And then we will look at how to install it. Okay. Meanwhile, let's carry on with our introduction. Okay. So why data science is because Abhay, you were saying that you have some relevance with respect to your work experience here.
Yes.
Okay. Relevance is there, and any other point why you've selected data science?
No, sir. This.
Okay, you were talking about the work that you do here in biorad, right? I mean,
Yes, I'm the PLC programmer.
You're a PLC programmer, okay. And
Yes.
what does that entail? What are you supposed to do?
In which PLC programmer?
What language do you use for PLC programming?
We're using the ladder logic.
Okay.
We have the variety of controllers that Siemens, Mitsubishi, Omron. That we do that programming language that is automation types. It is a robotics. That programming I was done in my company.
Okay. So you have some experience with programming, and I think that is also help. Any experience with programming will help. So if you have that, we'll put that as why you selected data science. Okay.
Yes.
Then why Marticus?
Actually, one of my friends suggests this class, MRT class.
Okay, recommendation.
Yes.
All right. Okay, we are good. Welcome, Abhay, and
Yes.
all the best. Let's move to the next person. Okay. Okay. Can we go with you, Ankita, next?
Hello.
Yes, Ankita, go ahead.
Yes, sir. My name is Ankita Chavenda Torme. My highest qualification is BTech in ENTC.
BTech in?
ENTC, Electronics and Telecommunication.
Okay.
And my work experience is 1.5 years. I'm currently working in Energy Guru company.
One?
Energy Guru.
Energy?
Guru.
Okay.
It's a startup company actually.
Okay.
Yeah, my age is 23.
23.
Why Marticus? Because in Energy Guru, I'm currently working as an analytics and AI developer also. Basically, I have done a project on AI. So I have some basic knowledge, but I want to grow more of that. That's my data science. And why Imarticus is like actually my sister has suggested, she have referred this Imarticus, and I like the course curriculums also, the contents and all of that. That's
I lost you in there, Ankita. Can you repeat why you selected Marticus?
um, I basically I like the course contents of this, and it's I like the course that it can be suitable.
Okay, okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, thank you. Welcome on board, Ankita. Then let's move to the next person. Next person on my list is Kamlesh.
Hi,
Kamlesh?
sir. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, sir. My name is Kamlesh, and I have highest qualification in BE Electrical. And
BE
I
Electrical.
have work experience of 6 months. Actually, I'm pass out of 21 batch.
Okay.
My company name is Virtuso.
Correct?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
My age is 22.
Okay.
Why data science? Because I have researched it that it has very futuristic scope in that.
Yeah.
Mm, By Marticus, one of my friends suggested it, so that's why I selected Marticus.
Okay. All right. Great. Welcome, Kamlesh.
Thank you, sir.
Then I think Mrinal is there.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My qualification is B Engineering in Instrumentation and Control. My work experience is 10. Company name is Immersion. Age is 33. Okay, why data science? Because I have seen this field, growth in this field. I have seen potential in this field. I felt some stagnancy in my field as I'm working in inside sales and instrumentation background. So for knowledge gain and the financial growth, I have joined this data science. And why Imarticus? I have got some recommendations for Imaticus. Also, I wanted to join the offline Saturday Sunday batch. So I got this batch in this class only.
Great, great, great. All right,
Yeah.
welcome. And also, who all are in the classroom? Mrinal is in classroom.
Yes,
Let me
yes.
write that down. Who else is in classroom? Kamlesh?
Yes, a classroom.
Okay. Uh, Ankita?
Yes, sir, classroom.
Okay. And then Abhay?
Yes, sir.
I think Snehal is online. Okay, then we have Yash. Okay, Yash, go ahead.
Hello, sir. I'm currently pursuing Masters in Computer Science.
Okay. Is that MSc what you're saying?
Yes, sir, MSc.
Okay.
I have work experience of like 4 months as a front-end developer.
Mhm.
It was a startup company named Shri Pixel Bytes.
What's the name of the company?
Shri Pixel Bytes, startup company.
Can you spell that for me?
SHRI,
SHRI.
Pixel,
Pixel, Pixel.
yeah, Bytes. Yeah,
Okay, you said you have
age,
4 months of experience, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Age?
Sir, my age is 22.
Uh,
And I wanted to join data science because data is like a never ending side, and there might be a end to front end development like new softwares like Wix and WordPress, but data science is a rare skill which won't be found in many people. So I joined data science. And Imarticus, the first and foremost goal is like the getting a job, good one, that too with Imarticus, because they provide placements as well, and other personality grooming which I personally need.
yes, 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 yes. Okay. And why did you say data science, Yash?
Sir, I feel data science is like a never-ending field, you can say.
It's
Front-end development might come to an end, like it won't be a rare skill. People will use softwares like drag and drop softwares like Wix and WordPress, and they'll just make a website. But data science will be a rare skill.
right, right, right. That is correct. That is correct. Scope, future, and let's say that it's a niche skill set also. Okay, all right. So this is what we've got. Have I missed anybody, or we have covered everyone? I think we have covered everyone. So are you able to install the tool? Do you have the installer file with you guys? Is it something that you have downloaded already?
Hello.
Yes.
I have SQL Server 2014, so can I use that, or I do have a MySQL Workbench also?
See, I mean, if you if you want to face problems in the class, which you'll be only the person who'll be struggling with, you can go ahead with the one that you have. If you want to cover the ground in a similar way that I will do with the whole class, without spending time separately on the issues because of a different version, then I will encourage go ahead with what I'm sharing. Don't use what you have already.
Okay. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, guys, just confirm me on the chat. Once you have downloaded the SQL Workbench, just confirm me on the chat, and then we can run through the instructions of how to install it. Guys, जब file download हो जाएगा, just give me a confirmation. उसके बाद then let's look at how to install it. लैपटॉप के बगैर SQL कैसे करेंगे यार? We need laptop for today's session. आप एक काम करो, जो भी हम queries लिखेंगे, just write them down in notepad. And when you, अच्छा आपके पास लैपटॉप ही नहीं है? Okay. I believe this is first session for everyone, right? ये आपका batch launch इससे पहले हुआ है? Did they tell you that you'll have a SQL session and कुछ information आपको provide की गई regarding how we're going to take the sessions forward? All right. So none of you is responding. What we'll have to do here is first we'll have to nominate a class representative because I'm not going to ask each and every one of you questions like this. I need one person who I can talk to, who will coordinate with the rest of the folks, and eventually it'll just streamline the whole process and it will lead to less wastage of time.
Yes, sir. I attended the very first session, which was conducted by Pranjal sir, and I don't remember. I heard how we were going to conduct the classes.
Okay. This is Nehal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Snehal. So this first lecture that you attended with Pranjal sir, was it like introduction lecture or what was it about?
Yeah, it was kind of an introductory session. He did give us some information about data science, and he also provided with some few examples and stuff. It was, I think, 1.5 to 2 hours session, so it was not a lengthy session. Yeah.
Okay. So basically it was a batch launch is what it looks like, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah, it was a batch launch.
Okay, all right. And this happened when yesterday?
Last Sunday.
This happened last Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so किसी एक को nominate कीजिए guys, who's gonna be your class representative, who will interact for assignments, everything. I need one person who I can talk to here in the class, and preferably someone from the classroom, because that will essentially there's only one person who's online, rest all are classroom. So we'll need more cooperation from classroom folks.
Sir, I can do it.
ठीक है मृणाल, great.
But right now, I also don't have any laptop. I'm sharing with Kamlesh.
Okay, ये किसके पास लैपटॉप नहीं है आज के सेशन के लिए?
Me, Snehal.
Okay, Snehal does not have, Yash does not have. यार guys, फिर कुछ मतलब नहीं है यार. आप लोग अगर लैपटॉप के बगैर आए हो, हम इंस्टॉलेशन भी नहीं कर पाएंगे. And if I start writing down the queries here, and you're not writing it yourself, there is no point in doing it. Laptop important है guys. Laptop is necessary from each session from today onwards, especially for SQL, क्योंकि SQL में हम theory करेंगे. Theory भी बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. There is DDL and DML, basic concepts उसके around, and then we'll jump into queries. And if you don't have laptop, I'm not sure how we're gonna do it today. इंस्टॉलेशन भी नहीं कर पाएंगे। ओके, किस किस के पास लैपटॉप है? जस्ट कंफर्म ऑन चैट। हु हैज अ लैपटॉप, जस्ट राइट यस। ओके, अंकिता के पास है, कमलेश के पास है। ओनली 2 स्टूडेंट्स। भाई आप क्लासरूम से ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं ना? तो वहाँ पे इंटरनेट नहीं है क्या क्लासरूम में? अबे
कमलेश,
हेलो।
हाँ भाई।
हाँ सर।
हाँ, तो आप वहाँ इंटरनेट नहीं है क्या क्लासरूम में?
है, उसका पासवर्ड है क्या? पासवर्ड नहीं है सर। कुठला आहे सर? नाही, ह्याच्यातला कुठला?
Ankita, the second link that I've shared, it's a instruction of how to download, how to install it. Go through it, install mat karo bhi. Just go through that document, which it's a web page actually, which talks about कि क्या क्या steps है. बहुत simple है, आपको सिर्फ next करना है. But just go through it once. So far, only Ankita has confirmed that she has downloaded the file. What about other folks?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I have also downloaded it. It's installing now.
ठीक है कमलेश. You went through the installation instructions, right? उसमें क्लियरली
Yes,
जो
sir.
दूसरा लिंक मैंने भेजा उसमें क्लियरली सब दिया हुआ है आपको कैसे इंस्टॉल करना है. कहीं पे अगर अटक रहे हो तो लेट मी नो.
Okay, sir.
जिन लोगों का इंस्टॉलेशन कंप्लीट हुआ है, प्लीज कंफर्म दैट योर इंस्टॉलेशन इज कंप्लीटेड. आई डोंट सी एनी confirmations as of now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
हाँ तो रिस्पॉन्ड करो यार. लीस्ट यू कैन डू इज रिस्पॉन्ड. Okay, so irrespective of whether you've installed it or not, what I'll do today for today's session is basically tell you a little bit about SQL, tell you a little bit about this tool that we are going to use. We'll not write any queries as such today, but we'll discuss more about what SQL is all about, right? Why do we use SQL, and what are some important components of this tool? Okay, so SQL basically is a structured query language. SQL का full form यार जॉब मोड में चला गया ये. SQL basically is called structured query language. So generally SQL queries जो है वो एक typical format follow करती है, right? So I'm just talking about some very basic thing, such as जब भी आप कोई SQL query लिख रहे हैं, so उसके अंदर एक select statement आएगी, एक फ्रॉम स्टेटमेंट आएगी. सो ये दो स्टेटमेंट्स जो है, ये स्टेटमेंट्स आर अ पार्ट ऑफ any SQL query that you're going to write in your career, right? Then there are other clauses as well. Select from, where, group by, order by, partition by, ऐसे बहुत सारे और clauses हैं. But no SQL query is complete without select and from. Select में basically आप आपका data select करते हैं, and from is where you select the data from. ठीक है? So this is basically the most basic format of any SQL query. Now let's look at this tool, right? What we have. Why do we need a query language? First of all, we need a query language because data resides in different databases, right? Data is present in different databases / tables, and we need to access the data quickly and efficiently. So that is the reason we basically use SQL. Because SQL is first, it is easy to understand. It can directly work with multiple tables, multiple databases, and information extraction, which is stored in different databases, is generally very simple when you do it with SQL. और SQL जो है वो काफी बेसिक फॉर्म करता है फॉर अदर बिग डेटा लैंग्वेजेस एज वेल. सो जैसे हडूप है या हाइव है, राइट? हाइव में जो आप लैंग्वेज लिख रहे हैं एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, दैट इज अ फॉर्म ऑफ SQL ओनली, बट विद अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ सिंटैक्टिकल डिफरेंस. थोड़ा बहुत डिफरेंस आता है आपके सिंटैक्स के अंदर, बट बेसिक फॉर्म क्वेरी का सेम रहता है. सिलेक्ट फ्रॉम जो मैंने आपको बताया वो बिल्कुल सेम रहेगा, उसके अंदर कोई चेंज नहीं होता. Then these databases are, जैसे हम लोग जो पुराने the bygone era, we used to use a lot of relational databases, right? जहाँ पे एक database है and it is related to another database. So let me just do that to you really quickly, what I'm talking about when I say a relational database. So a relational database सिस्टम जिसे हम RDBMS भी बोलते हैं, it's a collection of multiple tables that are related to each other in some or the other way. The classic example of a relational database system could be, let's say, जैसे जब आप किसी हॉस्पिटल में जाते हैं, राइट, हॉस्पिटल में सबसे पहले आपको एक आईडी दिया जाता है. वो आईडी से ही आपका जो हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन में जो बिल्स है, या फिर जो आपका पेशेंट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है, या फिर जो भी आप सर्विसेज अवेल कर रहे हैं, आप किसी टेस्ट के लिए आए हैं, ऑल ऑफ दैट इज बीइंग ट्रैक्ड थ्रू वन आईडी, राइट. दैट one single ID which is unique to a user is called a primary ID or primary key. So primary key एक ऐसी की है या फिर एक ऐसा आईडी है जो कि हर किसी यूजर के लिए एक यूनिक आईडी असाइन किया गया है, राइट. दिस यूनिक आईडी बेसिकली मेक श्योर दैट देयर इज नो डुप्लीकेशन. तो जैसे अगर अंकिता कम्स एज अ पेशेंट एंड आई गो एज अ पेशेंट फॉर सम ट्रीटमेंट, then in that case अगर हमारे IDs similar है, it will create a lot of problem, right. From an identity standpoint, I will not be able to, hospital will not be able to understand कौन है, and it can create a lot of problem, right. So इसके लिए एक ID assign करना to each individual is very important, and this ID has to be unique to each user. That means it cannot be a duplicated ID, and that's the reason it's called primary ID. Now let me open Paint. I can show a few things to you here. Do we have other figures? Okay, let's say ये आपका एक database है. Okay, there's another database. There are multiple databases like that. This is a common representation of how databases are represented. Okay, now let's imagine that these are databases of 3 hospitals: H1, H2, and H3. Now within each database, जैसे आप देख रहे हैं H1, हर database के अंदर एक particular होगा, right? जहाँ पे आप admin, admissions, insurance, right? So all these details will be kept inside each hospital's database, right? And these tables will contain different type of information, right? From an admin perspective, जब आपने जब आपने let's say आपने हॉस्पिटल के अंदर अपना एडमिशन कराया, उस टाइम पे जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स थी, आपके डॉक्यूमेंट्स, वो सब जो चीजें हैं, जो भी आपकी इंफॉर्मेशन है, दैट इज बीइंग कैप्चर्ड इन मल्टीपल टेबल्स अक्रॉस दिस डेटाबेस. तो ये एक डेटाबेस है. Okay, this is one database, and similarly each hospital have their own database. Now these tables, right, that I'm talking about, let's say जैसे admissions या insurance का table है, these tables contain different information with respect to different procedures that you do, right? Admission के time पे and insurance के time पे आप जो कर रहे हैं, उसको हम लोग we are storing inside different tables. Now, if I need to join this information from table number 1, I want to bring information regarding this person to table 1, insurance को भी मुझे join करना है, तो I need to perform joins between these tables, right? Now the idea that I'm trying to draw here is that these are all relational tables. By relational tables, what I'm trying to say is that these tables are related to one another and they're connected to one another through a key called primary key. Correct. And this primary key is something that will help you get the information across multiple tables, because this information will be residing. Admissions kind of information will be in admissions, insurance kind of information will be in insurance, and one primary ID that can help you get all the information in one place will be this primary key. Okay, इसी तरीके से जो primary key आपके hospital 2 में है, अब although these are different databases, right? मान लो ये Apollo hospitals या AIIMS का database है across 3 hospitals. Now अगर ये primary key यहाँ पे मान लो 1, 2, 3 है, then in that case, in the other relational database, this primary key 1, 2, 3 cannot be assigned to any other user. ठीक है, अगर H2 में अगर ये H1 वाला जो patient है ये H2 में जाता है somehow, he will always be associated with this one primary key which will identify this user 1, 2, 3. Right? And this will be, let's say, unique to only one person, let's say Lavish, right? Who, irrespective of which hospital he visits, he will have a primary key associated with him. And this primary key can essentially help me get the data from this hospital or this hospital or this hospital, right? But if you look at the whole scheme, all these 3 tables are related to each other. All these 3 databases are related to each other because they are of one hospital, and all the tables inside a database will also be related to one another through a primary key. Now there are some key things that we need to understand. सबसे पहले हमने बात करी databases की. So databases is nothing but a collection of tables. Now if I go back to my SQL workbench, what you see over here on the left hand side, left top में जो आप देख रहे हैं, this is the database, right? Demo database, एक मैंने database create किया है. Demo database 1 is another database that I've created. All you can see over here, it's the figure जो बनाई गई है database के against, it's also a common figure that I just drawn, right? So ये जो databases है, like I said, they will contain multiple tables. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे जैसे अब मैं जाऊँ तो मुझे दिख रहा है यहाँ पे टेबल करके I can see multiple tables which are present here, right? Table number 1, 2, 3. अगर मैं किसी एक टेबल पे क्लिक करता हूँ, then I can see that there is some information that is given to me, that the first variable it contains is varchar, int, float, and int. Right? So this is the information that I have from my table tables that I have over here. I can actually look at one, let's say, one of the tables. Problem here is this is all happening in dark mode and I'm not sure how to change इसका color कैसे change करना है. I started my system today and everything was in dark mode for some reason. Okay, हम यहाँ से देख सकते हैं. जैसे अभी आपने टेबल पे क्लिक किया. Okay, ये बैंक इन्वेंट्री प्राइसिंग का जो टेबल है, इस पे हमने क्लिक किया. हमने देखा यहाँ पे, then I can look at columns. तो कौन कौन से कॉलम है? प्रोडक्ट है, क्वांटिटी है, प्राइस है, परचेज है, एस्टिमेटेड है और मंथ है. Now each column that you see inside a table will have a data type associated with it. Okay, by data type I mean what kind of data it contains. Generally in SQL you'll have 3 primary types of data types, or for that matter a lot of languages will support primarily 3 data types. Okay, let's look at them. So SQL हो या कुछ और हो, आप ज्यादातर 3 data types देखेंगे which are very common in usage across languages, be it Python, be it R. Now these data types are int, which suggests that we are dealing with an integer. Can somebody tell me what is an integer?
Numerics.
Numeric
Numbers. Yeah.
numbers, correct. These are numbers. Number one, okay, point taken. We are talking about numbers here. What is the unique characteristic about integer? Is 2.5 an integer?
No.
It is also a
No,
numeric number, right?
it's come under float
Correct. This will come under float. That is right. But why is this not an integer?
because it has a decimal point.
Correct. Because it has a decimal point. See, जो भी integers आपके होते हैं, they're generally whole numbers. They will never have decimals, right? So अगर आप number line के ऊपर देखेंगे, you start with 0 and then you start moving towards the positive end, 1, 2, 3, and you start moving towards the negative end as well. तो ये जो numbers, whole numbers आपको दिख रहे हैं, including the positive, negative side of your number line, these are called integers. Okay, so basically without decimal points, both positive and negative are called integers. Okay, then you have a floating point, which is nothing but a decimal representation of numbers. Okay, so for example 2.5, 3.14, pi का value जो है, इस तरीके से आप अलग अलग जो भी numbers जिनमें decimal point आते हैं, they are all stored as a floating point data type. Okay, then third is a varchar. So varchar basically is a way of representing strings or characters. जैसे अब अगर हम अपने डेटा को देखें जो मैंने आज कलेक्ट किया है, राइट, लेट्स लुक एट दैट. जो मेरा पहला वाला जो वेरिएबल है over here, this variable over here, this variable is a varchar variable because it is a string type of data. Then my name is also a varchar over here, right, because this is also string type of data. This one over here is, what will highest qualification be data type wise? This will also be varchar, correct, good. Because again, it's string characters, so it will be varchar. What about work experience? ये तो पता है कि ये varchar नहीं है. We are sure about that. Is it int or is it float? ये फ्लोट, करेक्ट. क्योंकि अगर आपके देखो, अगर आपके डेटा में कहीं पे भी मतलब एक वैल्यू भी अगर आपका एक डेसिमल पॉइंट वाला आ जाता है तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली वो फ्लोट में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है. अगर ये 1.5 की जगह पे 1 होता, ये 0.5 की जगह पे लेट्स से 0 होता और ये 0.3 की जगह पे 0 होता, in that case it would have been taken as an integer, but because of decimal points it will automatically quote unquote typecast करके जो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म है which we'll see in Python and R as well. टाइपकास्टिंग का मतलब क्या होता है? तो ये टाइपकास्टिंग जो है, इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि अगर आपका एक वेरिएबल है, जैसे हमारा एज वेरिएबल है, और उसमें मैं कोई भी लेट्स से इफ आई सी डेसिमल पॉइंट नंबर्स इन देयर, राइट, सो डेसिमल पॉइंट और फ्लोट विल टेक प्रेसिडेंस ओवर इंटीजर. ठीक है, तो फ्लोट जो है वो उसको टेक ओवर कर लेगा, बट इसको हम थोड़ा बाद के लिए रखते हैं. आई थिंक इट विल लीड टू मोर कंफ्यूजन देन एनीथिंग राइट नाउ. व्हेन वी विल इंप्लीमेंट इट एट दैट टाइम वी विल सी कि ये टाइप कास्टिंग क्या होती है. बट आपको ये चीज सिर्फ इतना याद रखना है कि जब आप कोई वेरिएबल क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, अगर वेरिएबल के अंदर मिक्स डेटा टाइप्स है तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो दोनों डेटा टाइप लेगा. The point is that it will take only one data type. If there is mixed data type inside a particular column, तो वहां से eventually जो data type select होगा वो एक ही data type select होगा. It will not be selecting multiple data types. अब वो किस बेसिस पे होगा, कौन सा होगा, float होगा, int होगा या varchar होगा, वो हम थोड़ा later डिस्कस करते हैं once we have started writing queries and everything, right? बट टाइप कास्टिंग का सिर्फ फंडा याद रखो कि मिक्स डेटा टाइप्स के केस में कोई एक डेटा टाइप टेक्स प्रेसिडेंस ओवर द अदर डेटा टाइप. ओके, ऑलराइट. सो आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट डेटा टाइप्स. आई वाज शोइंग यू द टेबल एंड एवरीथिंग. ठीक है, सो ये टेबल के कॉलम्स हो गए. और कॉलम्स के अंदर अलग अलग टाइप के कॉलम्स हैं जिनको आप देख सकते हैं. Okay, then there is something called as a foreign key, which we'll look at a bit later. उससे पहले हम जाके देखते हैं what are views. Okay, now views, stored procedures and functions, three things. So let's talk about views first. Now views are also tables. These are tables only. Okay, tables created from original table in a database. Now, why do you need views, right? The question arises, why views? अगर मेरे पास tables already हैं, तो मुझे views की क्या जरूरत है, right? I can directly work with tables and work with the data that is there. Now, see, the problem is that these tables that are generally present in databases, these tables are raw tables. Okay, raw tables are present in databases. And sometimes these tables are fetching real-time information. All right, so these tables are fetching real-time या फिर बैच में भी प्रोसेस कर रहे होते हैं डेटा को. Another reason why is because these raw tables are being used by a lot of people, right? So it's not just you as an analyst, but there are other marketing teams that might be using it. So fiddling with these raw tables is really not desirable, right? So you do not want to change the values inside table. एंड जनरली क्या होता है, जब भी आप किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जाएंगे, आपको टेबल पे रीड एक्सेस होगा बट राइट एक्सेस नहीं होगा. दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द सेम फैक्ट दैट दे डोंट वांट यू टू बी messing up the table and messing up the information in there. So what they do essentially is they create something called as views. Now views, like I said, are tables only. They can be an exact replica of a table. जैसे आपका टेबल मेमोरी में, आप उसको जस्ट कॉपी करके उसका एक व्यू क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, और उस व्यू के आप रीड राइट जो भी मॉडिफिकेशन है, कोई एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन है, आप सब कर सकते हैं, राइट? सो व्यूज आर टेबल्स दैट आर editable and can be exact form of a raw table or some values from the raw table. सो बेसिकली जब आप व्यूज की बात कर रहे हैं, तो व्यूज जो है वो सिंपल टेबल भी हो सकता है, उसका एग्जैक्ट कॉपी भी हो सकता है, या फिर इट कुड बी जस्ट एन इंस्टेंस. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, लेट्स से मैं जो डेटा निकाल रहा हूँ, दैट डेटा विल बी ओनली सिलेक्टेड फॉर 1 day और मे बी 1 month और मे बी 1 year, राइट? सारे वेरिएबल्स ले लूंगा बेसिकली. जैसे अगर यहाँ देखते हैं, राइट, मैंने आपको एक टेबल दिखाया, ये टेबल में आपके मल्टीपल कॉलम्स है, करेक्ट? अब यहाँ मंथ करके एक मेरा कॉलम है. लेट्स से अगर मैं इसमें से सिर्फ एक किसी मंथ के लिए डेटा सिलेक्ट करके उसे फिर मैं एक व्यू क्रिएट करूं, तो दैट विल बी अ सेपरेट व्यू दैट विल बी क्रिएटेड फॉर दैट मंथ, राइट? सो ओके, सो वी लुक्ड एट व्हाट इज व्यूज. ठीक है, व्यूज आर जस्ट tables only that have been created, and they are essentially created so that you can modify, you can work with them and edit them and experiment with them. ठीक है, then there is stored procedures. Okay, if you want to take down these things, guys, ये लिख लो. मेरे ख्याल से views के बारे में लिख लो और थोड़ा सा databases के बारे में भी लिख लो. Take down these few points. Once you've taken this, मेरे को confirm करो guys. Once you've taken down this theory part. Are you done? Are you still doing it? Okay. Now let's talk about stored procedures then. Okay, stored procedures. What are stored procedures? Okay, so stored procedures are actually a collection of multiple functions. Multiple functions and queries to perform a particular task. Okay, now stored procedure जैसे बहुत commonly used stored procedure in SQL is of logistic regression. ठीक है, इसको हम proc logistic बोलते हैं. We will not learn logistic regression in SQL. That's not a part of our course curriculum. But just to make you understand what stored procedures are, I'm taking the example of logistic regression. So logistic regression is a machine learning algorithm, right, which helps you figure out whether something will happen or whether something will not happen, right? So it solves what we call as classification problems. अब लॉजिस्टिक रिग्रेशन के अंदर काफी सारी चीजें होती है, राइट? देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ फंक्शनैलिटीज दैट आर देयर, जैसे सिग्मॉइड है, log odds है, there are lots of mathematical formulas that you need to work with when you're working with logistic regression. So in that case, अब अगर ये पूरा logistic regression मुझे perform करना है SQL के अंदर, I will use this procedure called proc logistic. प्रॉक लॉजिस्टिक के अंदर मल्टीपल फंक्शंस होंगे. एक फंक्शन होगा जो सिग्मॉइड में कन्वर्ट करेगा, एक फंक्शन होगा जो लॉग ऑड्स कैलकुलेट करेगा, एक फंक्शन होगा जो वापस इसका एक्सपोनेंशियल कैलकुलेट करेगा, राइट? सो इट विल बी अ कलेक्शन ऑफ मल्टीपल फंक्शंस दैट विल परफॉर्म डिफरेंट जॉब्स. एंड stored procedures are generally used to perform such kind of jobs, जहाँ पे आपको एक बड़ा सा टास्क करना है और उस टास्क के अंदर काफी सारे सब टास्क हैं, तो आप उसको एक स्टोर्ड प्रोसीजर में डाल के पूरा कंप्लीट करते हैं. ठीक है. नाउ स्टोर्ड प्रोसीजर्स कंटेन समथिंग कॉल्ड एज फंक्शंस. नाउ फंक्शंस आर सॉर्ट ऑफ व्हाट आई एम कॉलिंग एज सब टास्क्स. ठीक है. जैसे लॉजिस्टिक रिग्रेशन में मान लीजिए आपको लॉग ऑड्स कैलकुलेट करने हैं, तो जो लॉग ऑड्स कैलकुलेट करने के लिए जो फॉर्मूला जो लगेगा, वो फॉर्मूला हम फंक्शन के अंदर लिखेंगे. सो वील राइट अ फंक्शन which will calculate log odd for us. Now, this log odds calculation is only one part, right? It's one subtask, but there are multiple other subtasks that need to be written for a particular functionality to complete from end to end. है ना? नाउ ये सब टास्क जो है, इसके अंदर हम और आप सब टास्क लिखते जाएंगे तो यू विल ऐड मोर फंक्शंस टू इट. सो फंक्शन जो है वो एक स्पेसिफिक टास्क परफॉर्म करता है. इट्स नॉट वेरी जेनरिक, इट्स जस्ट यूज्ड टू परफॉर्म अ स्पेसिफिक टास्क. एडिशन ऑफ टू नंबर्स कैन बी डन बाय राइटिंग अ फंक्शन, मल्टीप्लिकेशन, सब्ट्रैक्शन, एनी मैथमेटिकल formula that you need to write can be written using functions. But stored procedures क्या है? Stored procedures is a collection of functions which is supposed to perform a bigger array of job using all the subtasks and functions that you have written. Okay, ये लिख लो stored procedure functions के बारे में. Abhay, are you guys done?
Yes, sir.
Abhay? Okay, let's go back to SQL Workbench then. Okay, so we looked at this, right? So there's a database. Database has multiple tables. It has views, it has stored procedures, and it has functions. Okay, so this we know by now. Okay, so what is a schema? Schema is basically a collection of multiple databases put together. जब आप अब जैसे यहाँ मैं जब schema पे click करता हूँ, I can clearly see that I can see multiple databases in here. Administration पे जाएंगे तो then it will show you some different things. But schemas is basically collection of multiple databases put together. All right, now let's try and understand this whole framework, right? ये क्या है? What are we actually dealing with here? थोड़ा सा टूल का नो हाउ बढ़ाते हैं. सो यहाँ पे लेफ्ट टॉप हैंड साइड पे आपके टेबल्स, आपके डेटाबेसेस, सारी इंफॉर्मेशन आपको यहाँ मिलेगी. ये जो है ये आपका स्क्रिप्टिंग विंडो है, राइट? एज यू कैन सी देयर आर मल्टीपल स्क्रिप्टिंग विंडोज आई हैव ओपन ओवर हियर, राइट? सो ये जो है आपका, ये आपका स्क्रिप्टिंग विंडो है. यहाँ पे हम अपना सारा क्वेरीज लिखेंगे, वो क्वेरीज को एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे. अब जैसे मैं यहाँ पे अगर एक क्वेरी लिखता हूँ, सिलेक्ट star from let's pick up one of the tables that we have here, bank in price. Now मैंने आपको बताया select और from जो है वो, these are two essential parts of any query and they will always be a part of query that you will write, right? So अब जब आप from लिख रहे हैं, फ्रॉम में आपको दो चीजें स्पेसिफाई करनी है. आपको ये स्पेसिफाई करना है कि आप कौन सा डेटाबेस यूज कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज व्हेन यू राइटिंग अ फ्रॉम क्वेरी इट विल एक्चुअली टेक एवरीथिंग दैट इज प्रेजेंट इन द, जो भी स्कीमास के अंदर प्रेजेंट है वो सबको स्कैन करेगा, राइट? सो इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू स्पेसिफाई विच डेटाबेस डू यू वांट टू वर्क विद. सो मान लो मैं लिखता हूँ डेमो डेटाबेस डॉट बैंक इन्वेंट प्राइसिंग and then we'll put a colon around it. और जब आप इसे रन करेंगे see how do I change the color of this, creating a serious issue. There's something wrong with this, guys. ये पूरा कलर स्कीम मेरा डेस्कटॉप का चेंज हो चुका है. आई एम नॉट श्योर व्हाई. So I hope you can see the notepad. अभी मैं नोटपैड में क्वेरी लिख रहा हूँ. कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट्स समझते हैं इस क्वेरी के. सबसे पहले आ गया सिलेक्ट. ओके, तो सिलेक्ट जब आप कर रहे हैं, सिलेक्ट स्टार का मतलब ये है कि आप सारे का सारा डेटा सिलेक्ट कर रहे हैं. दैट मीन्स ऑल रोज एंड ऑल कॉलम्स. फिर फ्रॉम में आपका टेबल नेम प्रिसीडेड बाय योर डेटाबेस नेम. इफ यू डोंट वांट टू राइट एवरी टाइम कि आपको एक डेटाबेस चाहिए, व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू कैन यूज द क्वेरी यूज डेमो डेटाबेस. When you do this use demo database, तो आपको फिर ये चीज लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't have to write the database name in front of the table that you are accessing the data from. Okay, so use demo database, or every query when once you've completed writing the query has to be followed by a semicolon. जब आप सेमीकोलन लगाएंगे तो ही उसको पता चलेगा SQL सर्वर को कि ये क्वेरी जो है कंप्लीट हो गई है. Otherwise, if you don't put a colon, it will give an error. ठीक है, so make sure that every time you complete a query, you always write a colon after it, semicolon. ठीक है, यहाँ पे भी हमने semicolon डाल के ये लिख दिया, and we can basically look at the data, which right now I can't see here because of this color thing, which is creating a problem. But जब आप क्वेरी रन करेंगे तो ये आपको सारा का सारा आपका डेटा दिखा देगा. ये सिंपल सी क्वेरी जो है, सिलेक्ट क्वेरी जो हमने लिखी है. Now, this part over here that you see, right, which is the result grid, is where your table will be printed. जैसे हम देख पा रहे हैं, product quantity, price, purchase, estimated month underscore B. I cannot see the data again because of the color scheme, because of the problem with the color scheme here, which I'll get fixed in the next session. But यहाँ पे आपका table दिखेगा आपको, right below where you're writing the query. And when you're executing a query, there are different ways to do it. राइट, आप क्वेरी सिलेक्ट कीजिए इस तरीके से, और ये जो बटन है इसको आप प्रेस करके क्वेरी को रन कर सकते हैं. द सिंपलर मेथड विच आई प्रेफर इज आफ्टर पुटिंग कोलन प्रेस कंट्रोल एंटर. जैसे आप कंट्रोल एंटर प्रेस करेंगे, आप देख रहे हो यहाँ ये क्वेरी एग्जीक्यूट हो गई है. या अगर आपने कोलन रखा हुआ है, आप बीच में भी कहीं पे आपने मान लो आप स्टार के इधर हो और आप कंट्रोल एंटर प्रेस कर रहे हो, तो भी वो क्वेरी को एग्जीक्यूट कर देगा. So basically query के text में wherever you are, whether you are at the end of the query, whether you are here after the dot, or whether you are here, अगर आप control enter press करेंगे तो वो पूरी query execute कर देगा. और इस केस में आपको select करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है, राइट. जैसे अगर मुझे ये वाली query रन करनी है जो मैंने यहाँ लिखा है, I need to execute this and then first select this and then execute it. बट अगर आप कंट्रोल एंटर यूज करके प्रेस कर रहे हैं, आपको सिर्फ कर्सर प्लेस करना उस लाइन पे जहां पे आपकी क्वेरी है. वो कर्सर कहीं पे भी हो सकता है. इट डज नॉट हैव टू बी एट द एंड ऑफ द सेमीकोलन. इट कैन बी एनीवेयर इन द होल क्वेरी, बट इट शुड बी ऑन दैट लाइन. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक है, ये एक और बेसिक चीज मैंने आपको बता दी. देन यहाँ पे आपका टेबल जो है, टेबल के अंदर जो सारी इंफॉर्मेशन है, दैट विल बी ओवर हियर. ये जो नीचे वाला आप देख रहे हैं जहाँ पे आउटपुट आ रहा है, एक्शन आउटपुट, दिस टेल्स यू कि आपका क्वेरी रन हुआ है. अगर आपका क्वेरी रन नहीं होगा तो ये जो मैसेज आप देख रहे हो 0 रोज रिटर्न जहाँ पे आ रहा है, यहाँ पे एक एरर आ जाएगा अगर आपको ये गड़बड़ करते हैं. लेट्स से जैसे मैं सिलेक्ट स्टार में से स्टार हटा देता हूँ, तो ये देखो ये बता रहा है यू हैव अ एरर इन योर SQL कोड. Check your manual that corresponds to your MySQL server for the, generally what you should be interested in, this error code 1064. Error code 1064 जो है वो आप encounter कर रहे हैं. Now that is a SQL syntax error. Generally 1064 is a syntax error. That means आपने कोड में कोई एक important लाइन या अल्फाबेट या कुछ ऐसा मिस किया है, syntactical error किया है. Syntactical error मतलब आपने गलत लिखा है कहीं पे या टाइपो कर दिया है. जैसे अगर मैं सिलेक्ट स्टार की जगह पे SELEC सिर्फ रन करूं तो भी ये आपको एरर 1064 ही देगा. द रीजन बीइंग क्योंकि आप अगेन इट्स अ सिंटैक्स एरर दैट यू आर परफॉर्मिंग हियर, सो दैट्स द रीजन इट इज गिविंग यू दैट एरर. तो आपका क्वेरी सक्सेसफुली एग्जीक्यूट हुआ है या नहीं, नंबर 1. नंबर 2, व्हाट एरर, अगर आपका अनसक्सेसफुल एग्जीक्यूशन हुआ है, in that case what is the error that you're getting is also printed here in the output along with the error code. Now generally we learn this over time, right? जब आप कोई क्वेरी लिखते हैं या आप कोई कोड लिखते हैं, you'll always face some or the other issue, with the bug or with the way you have written the code. The best thing that you can do is to copy the error code 1064 जो भी आपका error दिखा रहा है, अगर तो SQL syntax है, then you need to figure out कि आपने कहीं पे कुछ typo वाइपो तो नहीं किया है, कहीं पे कुछ miss तो नहीं किया है. Otherwise, if there is any other error, just error code को उठा के Google कर दो. अब जैसे मैं अगर यहाँ पे I go to Google and I just type error code 1064 on SQL. Code 1064. देखो MySQL workbench में already वो आपको बता रहा है as your second query result, there is something called as error code 1064. Now, Stack Overflow is a very important resource, guys, that we will use throughout our learning experience, right? Stack Overflow is basically a website that is developed by a community which solves problems for people. It's created by people like you and me, right? जैसे अगर मैं किसी एक language में expert हूँ, and I am a member of Stack Overflow. तो जनरली पीपल विल पोस्ट प्रॉब्लम्स. जैसे अब इसका फॉर्मेट क्या है मैं आपको समझाता हूँ हाउ स्टैक ओवरफ्लो वर्क्स. सो स्टैक ओवरफ्लो पे सबसे पहले आपका ऊपर आ जाता है जो भी आपने एरर जो आपने सर्च किया था वो आपको यहाँ दिख जाएगा. फिर फर्स्ट पोर्शन दैट यू विल सी इन स्टैक ओवरफ्लो इज द पर्सन ट्राइंग टू आस्क, जिसको ये इशू आया है वो यहाँ पे अपना इशू हाईलाइट करता है. ओके कि ये मैंने क्वेरी लिखी है, मुझे ये एरर आ रहा है, दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ एरर दैट आई एम गेटिंग. देन यू हैव आंसर्स. So answers में generally there are people who are part of community who are very actively involved in this community. They generally answer. जैसे आप देख रहे हो डैनियल वसालो करके जो बंदा है, he has 324k answers. 70 of them are gold, 493 are silver and 435 are bronze. तो मतलब ये काफी active user है इस website पे, and he generally answers a lot of questions. तो जब आपको भी कभी कभार कोई ऐसा, मतलब अभी तो नहीं आएगा आपको इशू क्योंकि आप यू आर लर्निंग राइट नाउ, तो जब आपको कोई इशू इस टाइप का आएगा तो आपको हमेशा कोई ना कोई क्वेश्चन मिल जाएगा विच इज रिलेटेड टू द इशू दैट यू आर फेसिंग. बट टुमारो व्हेन यू आर इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में भी आपको कहीं पे ऐसा कुछ एरर आ जाए which is not answered on Stack Overflow, तो आप क्वेश्चन पूछ भी सकते हैं यहाँ पे. You have to log in, create an account and follow format for questioning. But generally you will not, I mean personally मैंने तो आज तक I don't remember asking any question क्योंकि mostly जितने भी errors या जितनी भी problems मैं face करता हूँ, when I Google them I always find a solution on Stack Overflow. कहीं ना कहीं पे मुझे पहले दूसरे या तीसरे लिंक पे I will always find a solution there. So I've never had this issue where I had to go and create a question. Because generally जो issues हम face करते हैं generally they are faced by other people also, and there are already threads on the same questions that are present that are answering the questions that you might be facing tough time with. ठीक है. सो जब भी कोई एरर आए, एरर को उठा के उसके कोड को उठा के उसके साथ में जो टेक्स्ट है उसको उठा के गूगल करो, and generally 99% of the times you'll end up on a Stack Overflow page जहाँ पे आपको solution भी मिल जाएगा. It's just that you'll have to go through a little bit and understand and read कि exact solution क्या propose कर रहे हो. जैसे यहाँ पे फिर डिस्कशन भी होती है, ओके ये जो सोल्यूशन है इसके अंदर कुछ ऐसा हो सकता है, या इसी डेनियल ने फिर से यहाँ पे कुछ आंसर किया है. And it's a very useful resource for debugging, for troubleshooting. It's a great resource that every data scientist in the industry uses very extensively. Okay, let me go back to SQL Workbench. ठीक है. सो सिलेक्ट स्टार फ्रॉम मैंने आपको बता दिया, मैंने आपको ये विंडो बता दिया यहाँ पे जो आता है SQL एडिशंस. ओके, दिस इज नॉट ऑफ मच हेल्प, इसमें कुछ खास हमें हेल्प नहीं मिलेगी इससे. ओके, सो दिस इज द बेसिक ओवरव्यू ऑफ टूल गाइस. एनी क्वेश्चन सो फार? किसी को कोई डाउट है, कोई क्वेश्चंस है रिगार्डिंग दिस बेसिक ओवरव्यू?
Hello.
Yes, Mrinal, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, in that notepad you have written one query, one line.
हाँ एक सेकेंड, I'll just bring that
Use
up.
demo database. I didn't understand.
हाँ यूज डेमो डेटाबेस मैंने, ओके ठीक है। देखो जब भी आप को कोई टेबल में से कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन निकालनी है, राइट, उससे पहले आपको ये स्पेसिफाई करना है कि वो टेबल कौन से डेटाबेस में है, राइट। देखो यहाँ मल्टीपल डेटाबेसेस है, राइट, डेमो डेटाबेस 1, डेटाबेस 2, डीएसपी 35, डेमो डेटाबेस, डीएसपी डेमो डेटाबेस। अब अगर मैं डायरेक्टली लिखता हूँ, लेट्स से मैं यहाँ पे ये क्वेरी विदाउट ये देखता हूँ, मैं सिर्फ ये लिखूंगा सिलेक्ट स्टार फ्रॉम बैंक इन प्राइसिंग, ठीक है, लेट मी राइट दिस ओनली, select star from bank underscore in underscore pricing। ये देखो ये बता रहा है नो डेटाबेस सिलेक्टेड, मतलब आपने कोई डेटाबेस नहीं सिलेक्ट किया तो उसे पता ही नहीं कि वो टेबल कहाँ से फेच करेगा, करेक्ट। सो दैट्स द रीजन इट इज गिविंग दैट एरर। नाउ whenever you're writing a query is generally good to specify the database। so जो भी आप टेबल है बैंक इन प्राइसिंग जो है वो किस डेटाबेस के अंदर है वो आपको स्पेसिफाई करना पड़ेगा, फॉलोड बाय अ डॉट। दिस इज वन वे, दिस इज वन वे। द अदर वे इज टू यूज डेमो डेटाबेस। अब यूज डेमो डेटाबेस क्या करेगा, जैसे मैं यहां लिख देता हूं, मान लो यूज डेमो डेटाबेस, यूज डेमो डेटाबेस, जस्ट कॉपी दैट, ठीक है। यूज डेमो डेटाबेस किया मैंने, कंट्रोल एंटर प्रेस किया। नाउ इट नोज दैट इट हैज टू एक्सेस एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम दिस डेटाबेस इटसेल्फ। तो ये जो ऊपर मैंने क्वेरी लिखी थी विच वाज दिस वन, सिलेक्ट स्टार फ्रॉम बैंक अंडरस्कोर इन अंडरस्कोर पीआरसी। नाउ दिस नोज दैट ये जो बैंक इन पीआरसी वाला जो टेबल है ये डेमो डेटाबेस के अंदर है। तो मुझे लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है अलग से डेमो डेटाबेस, आई कैन डायरेक्टली जस्ट run this query। यहाँ पे इसको हम पेस्ट कर देंगे and we will run it। देखो अभी रन हो गया, राइट। अभी it did not say that database has not been selected क्योंकि मैंने ऑलरेडी स्पेसिफाई किया है कि आप डेमो डेटाबेस में से इसको उठाओ। ओके, ग्रेट। Anybody else, any other questions?
This database was already filled. So if we want to create a database or
हाँ अंकिता, आई विल कम बैक टू दैट इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन ना। अभी लोगों के पास लैपटॉप नहीं है, सो आई डोंट वांट टू गो। मैं भी इसलिए ज्यादा थ्योरी कवर कर रहा हूँ और सिंपल थ्योरी कवर कर रहा हूँ। बट जो आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा है दैट लीड्स टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ व्हाट वी आर गोना लर्न व्हिच इज कॉल्ड डीडीएल एंड डीएमएल, ठीक है। सो डीडीएल क्या है एंड डीएमएल क्या है? डीडीएल इज डेटा डेफिनेशन लैंग्वेज, डेटा डेफिनेशन लैंग्वेज। डेटा डेफिनेशन लैंग्वेज में प्रिसाइसली जो आप बोल रहे हो, क्रिएशन ऑफ डेटाबेसेस, क्रिएशन ऑफ टेबल्स, ऑल्टरेशन ऑफ टेबल्स, insertion of values, deletion of values, all these things can be done in data definition language which is a part of SQL, DDL जिसे हम बोलते हैं, ठीक है। इसमें मैं दिखाऊंगा आपको जब हम DDL करेंगे, which will be essentially in the next session when you'll all have laptops as well as SQL installed। उस टाइम पे हम लोग we'll look at how to create database, we'll look at how to create tables, we'll look at how to create columns, specify data types, how to create primary key, foreign key references, all of that। वो सब हम जब आपके पास मशीन होगा and everybody will have a machine, we'll do it at that time। दूसरा है DML which is called data manipulation language। ओके, डेटा मैनिपुलेशन लैंग्वेज में आपके क्या आते हैं? इसमें आपका आ जाता है एग्रीगेशंस, इसमें आपके आ जाते हैं जॉइंस, इसमें आपकी ग्रुप बाय जो स्टेटमेंट्स हैं, ऑर्डर बाय स्टेटमेंट्स जो है, सॉर्टिंग। अच्छा ऑर्डर तो सॉर्टिंग में कवर हो गया। बेसिकली जब भी आप डेटा के साथ मतलब कुछ ना कुछ कर रहे हैं, राइट? व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग विद डेटा, यू आर मर्जिंग डेटा सेट्स टुगेदर, और यू आर राइटिंग अ वेयर कंडीशन, जैसे वेयर क्लॉज जो हम लिखते हैं टू फिल्टर आउट द डेटा। बेसिकली वेयर इज नथिंग बट फिल्टरिंग आउट द डेटा। तो ये सब जो है ये डेटा मैनिपुलेशन में आता है। Again, this is something that we will look at in more detail once everybody has a machine and SQL is installed. क्योंकि हमें इसके लिए queries लिखने पड़ेंगे, अंकिता. We'll need to do a significant amount of practice with respect to this.
Okay, I just want to know if you have a database can be in the form of the MDF file.
Which
And
file?
if you, MDF.
MDF, what format is that?
It's a form of the FOSCO database format.
Okay, मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा वो, अंकिता. I'm not sure what MDF is. Let me quickly just Google it.
Okay, if any database, if you want to load in MySQL workbench,
you can load any type of database, any type of data. हमारे करिकुलम में हम लोग CSV फाइल्स देखेंगे कैसे अपलोड करना है. बट आप अगर डायरेक्टली किसी डेटाबेस के साथ कनेक्शन बनाना चाहते हैं, वहां से आप डेटा एक्सपोर्ट करना चाहते हैं, दैट कैन बी डन. इफ इट इज अ जेसॉन टाइप फाइल जिसमें आपका डेटा स्टोर्ड है, दैट कैन बी डन. जो आप बोल रहे हैं MDF फॉर्मेट यू सेड, राइट?
yes.
MDF format. Let me look at what this is. Proprietary disk image file format developed for alcohol 120 and optical demand tools. Maybe this might not be compatible. I'm not sure, but I'll have to check. क्योंकि कुछ power DVD, even I'm not sure if this is the same one. But generally, see, it's easier to create databases and tables using CSV files, comma separated files जो होती है, basically Excel files जो है हमारी, उनको यूज करके हम कर सकते हैं. या तो हम डायरेक्टली एक डेटाबेस कनेक्शन एस्टैब्लिश करके किसी एक सर्वर के साथ उसको कनेक्ट करके we can create tables.
Okay.
But MDF का SQL Server master database file.
Because right now I'm using the MDF file in the SQL Server 2014. It's a ready-made database we get.
अच्छा, ये SQL master database file है. Okay. MDF file format. A file with a master database file is a Microsoft SQL Server to store user data, primary importance and data. And the MDF stores user data in relation to the form of. Okay. MDF files can be attached to database. हाँ, हो सकता है. MDF can be done. Yes. ये Microsoft database file है ना, ये कर सकते हो आप. Yes, you can basically upload using this as well. अच्छा, तो MDF Microsoft database file. I was thinking of something else. I thought it's this one. Media description file. हाँ, MDF file आप काम कर सकते हो, अंकिता. You can work with MDF files.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, guys?
So you explain mixed data types that
हाँ, मैंने ये बताया कि 3 डेटा टाइप है, इंट, फ्लोट और varchar. टाइप कास्ट मैंने बोला कि जब मिक्स होते हैं डेटा टाइप तो एक डेटा टाइप जो है वो प्रेफरेंस ले लेता है ओवर अनदर. बट वो मैंने भी एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया है.
अच्छा, ओके.
हाँ, वो मैंने एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया अभी मृणाल. वो थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाएगा एट दिस स्टेज विदाउट प्रॉपर. जब तक मैं आपको उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं दिखाऊंगा ना, तो वो थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाएगा.
Okay.
So let's get the SQL Server once in place. Then I will show you the implementation. तो उससे थोड़ा ज़्यादा आपको clear हो जाएगा when you will practice and stuff also. Okay. ठीक है. Any other thing, Kamlesh? No questions from you? Yash, Abhay? कुछ समझ में आया, कुछ नहीं आया समझ में? What is it like? कैसा लग रहा है आपको? Hello, good. So guys, we will close it here today. Make sure that next time onward जब आप आ रहे हैं तो पहली चीज आप लैपटॉप अपने साथ में लाएंगे, और जो मैंने इंस्ट्रक्शंस भेजे हैं, मेक श्योर दैट यू एटलीस्ट इंस्टॉल योर MSI. जो इंस्टॉलर फाइल है वो डाउनलोड करके रखो, क्योंकि वो डाउनलोड करने में मे बी थोड़ा टाइम लग सकता है. इंस्टॉलेशन विल बी क्विक. अगर आप इंस्टॉलेशन करके आते हो, वेल एंड गुड. फॉलो द लिंक दैट आई हैव गिवन. उसमें सारी डिटेल्स दी गई हैं, कौन सा आपको कहाँ पे क्लिक करना है, क्या करना है. But irrespective of that, if you feel there is any issue, हम लोग in the next session we'll first solve that issue, install it, and then move to the next portion in our course. Okay, next session we'll have in the classroom. So I'll be in classroom for the next session, which is Saturday, Sunday, 9 to 1. All right.
Okay.
So we'll close it here today, guys. Take care. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Take care.
इन्स्टॉलेशन झालं. मग मी काय पुढे काय केलं, पुढे काय केलं, SQL आले कुठे नंतर
स्टार्ट मध्ये